Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Claritysoft's training webinar. Today is Tuesday, March 5th, and this week's webinar is going to be Claritysoft for Beginners. This webinar is designed for those of you who are just starting with Claritysoft and would like to get a quick overview of how the database works and the screen layouts and buttons to click on and processes to follow. So it's a general introduction from the very beginning. You have three versions of Claritysoft that you may work with. The one that you're most likely going to work with is Claritysoft Live. It's our web-based version. You access it by opening Google Chrome, which is what we recommend as your browser, and then entering claritycrm.com into the address line and press enter. That will take you to the login screen. You also may access Claritysoft on your smartphone and can basically open a browser on your phone and do claritycrm.com. We also now do have an app that you can download either from the Apple Store or for your Android. Then you can install that on your phone and get the access to the Claritysoft database that way. And then the third method is to install our offline version. This works only on a PC, and it is basically our original version of Claritysoft that allows you to install the program on your computer. It will create a local copy of your database so that if you are traveling or you are somewhere where you do not have an internet connection or maybe even a cell phone connection, you can use the offline version to add new data, update data in the database, and then when you get back to an internet connection, you synchronize that data out to the server to update the server. So all three of these versions are available to you with your license. You may use any combination of the three. You know, they all coordinate with each other because they all go to the server. The first thing we're going to do is just a quick overview of all the modules in Claritysoft, and then navigating around in the database. There are some shortcuts and things like that that I want you to know about to make it easier to navigate. Screen layout, there are different ways that you can control your screen layout, what columns of data that you see, how many records you see per screen, things like that. And then walk through a basic workflow, starting with a new lead in the leads module and working it all the way through to convert it, to create an account and contact and a sales opportunity, and then taking your sales opportunity, converting it to a quote, and then finally a sale. Now, in your database setup, it's possible you may not use all the modules. It depends on how your company plans to use Claritysoft. And that's one of the really nice things, because Claritysoft is very flexible that way. It allows you to use the modules that fit best with your company. So some of the things you see in my navigation panel may not be in yours, so don't panic about that. It just depends on how your database is set up. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Here is my Claritysoft. So as I said before, in order to get to this screen, you would open a web browser, and we do recommend Google Chrome. And then you type claritycrm.com and press the enter key. When you do that, you will come to this login. Then your admin user for Claritysoft will give you a login name and password, and then your database name will be whatever you've decided as a company to name your database. Once you type this in, you can click Remember Me here, and then the next time you come to log in, you only need to enter the password. And if you have your computer remember your password, then you only have to click Sign In. So that's what most people seem to be doing now. I'm going to sign in, and when you come into your database, you will land in the Accounts module. So over here on the left-hand side of the screen, this is called the navigation panel. And you will see the different modules that Claritysoft has. And as I said, you may not see all of these modules, okay? So don't worry about it if you don't. It's just the way your particular database is set up. So the things that are there are the things that your company has decided to include. Accounts in Claritysoft are the businesses that you work with, the business entities. So you will have an account or company name, and then you will have address information for that record. And if I click here to open an account record, I will see all of the information. Now in here, in this record, you will also see any custom fields that have been added to your database. So in my database, I have a custom field called status that has been added to say whether this company is a prospect or a customer. You may have something similar to that. Down here, there's a sector field that is a custom field that has been added. So again, your database may look different than mine, and that's fine because these are custom fields that have been added to the database to customize it to fit your particular business. Everyone's business is a little bit different, so above and beyond address and phone numbers, there are specific fields that you may add and then be able to track that information. So this is the basic layout of an account record. You may also find that you have more than one tab here, and you might have different fields on another tab, so you'll want to make sure you pay attention to that. So this details main tab is showing you the detailed information of the company. Then you will also see other tabs in here. There's a contacts tab to show you all of the people associated with that account. There's an open activities tab to show you all of the activities that are scheduled. And then a closed activities tab, which will have all of the completed activities. And when you take an activity that's open and mark it complete, it moves itself to the closed activities. So that's the flow. And we'll talk about this a little bit more. This tab here you will not have. That is a custom module. You probably won't have support. You may not have email campaigns. It depends whether you have the marketing module or not, but you will have attachments. And this is a tab where you can attach documents to the database. Then you have opportunities, which are your sales opportunities. It will track all of them, and you'll have ones that you've won. You can see your sales stage here. So all your opportunities, the whole history of them will be here, your quotations, and your sales. So that's the basic layout of a record that has these different tabs that contain different information. And then if I make any changes to this, for example, type it in, and then I can do a save and close. When I do a save and close, that returns me back out to my account list. So I can see all of my accounts in the accounts module. The difference between the accounts module and the contacts module is that in contacts, I'm able to see my people separately. So the one 3M company that I was just looking at, when I clicked on that contacts tab, I had multiple people. Here they all are listed separately. So when you're working in Claritysoft, you can work from the account level to add activities, opportunities, etc. Or you can go to the contact person. It kind of depends on how you think. Do you think company first or person first? All the activities that you do with all the separate people will be at the account level. That is the top of the structure. So for example, now if I wanted to look at just Jerry's record, I can click on here. Now, here's a little tip. Notice that account name is a blue hyperlink and contact name is a blue hyperlink. That means if I click on the account name, I'm going to open the account record. If I click on the contact name, I'm going to open the contact record, which is what I want to do. So here's a trick. always click on this file folder icon in any of the modules that you're in, and you will always open the record for that module. And then you won't get lost. I watch too many people just kind of click on the very first thing. They open the account record, and then they're confused because they're saying, well, I wanted to open the record for Jerry. And, you know, then they go here, and then they find Jerry in this list. So that gets them all confused. So this is tip number 1. Always click on the file folder icon, and you will always open the correct record. I have gone to Jerry's record, and you can see that I'm in the contact record, not the account record. So again, this looks very similar to the account record. I have my fields of data. Again, there may be some custom fields in here to categorize the type of person as far as their job function or role. I have a custom field here for types of mailing lists that each of my people are on, so that I can filter by that. So you may see different fields. They may be in a different layout. So that's all possible with Claritysoft. And then here are open activities just with Jerry. Here are closed activities with Jerry, so on and so forth. And again, opportunities that I'm working that are with Jerry, not with everybody. So you can see the numbers that you see under here, the number of items is different. There are no quotations with Jerry, but I have some sales. Also notice too, there's an account tab here. This allows you to see the data from the account record while you're in the contact record. This can be very helpful because maybe there's, you know, one of the fields you want to look up is status, or you might want to look at the product interest or something like that. You can't change the data here because it's all grayed out, but you can view it. So it allows you to see that data without having to go back to the account record itself. And this is true throughout the whole database. So that's another thing to pay attention to. Third thing to pay attention to, note that some of the tabs have dark blue lines above them and some of them don't. If there is a dark blue line, that means there is at least one record under that tab. That's your visual cue. Quotations doesn't have a dark blue line, so there's no data under there. So pay attention to that as well. All right, so that's viewing a contact record. And you'll notice, you know, we have the opportunities tab. We have the quotations tab, which show you what each account or contact has associated with it. But then we have the different modules, and the modules are where the complete list of everything is gathered. So just like the contacts module shows you all your contacts separately, the opportunities module shows you all your sales opportunities separately. And it doesn't matter which account they're associated with, they're all listed here. So again, the same thing will occur in quotations. You will see a list of all your quotations that you have, and then sales, and so on and so forth. So you can see each module is where everything gathers, but you can see at the account or contact level the individual sales, quotes, opportunities that go with that account or contact. And then activities is the last one, where all of your activities gather. So you can schedule activities, which are phone calls you want to do, emails you want to send, meetings that you schedule, all of those things, or they can be emails that you have sent that are saved back to the database. They will all gather in the activities module. And this is probably a good place to start talking about the filters at the top. Up here, you see today's activities. By default, when you come to the activities module, this filter will be turned on. And what it's showing you all of your activities that are due today. Now notice that I have 43 activities, and if you look at the start dates, you can see they go backwards into 2018. Some are just last week, so they're all kind of all over the map. Well, this is a good thing because my to-do list is never going to take anything away until I say I have completed this activity. So if you don't get something done today, it'll still be there tomorrow and the next day. And you can see this one's been here since last November, and it is not going to go away until I say I did it. So if I come over here and I just want to complete it, I can click on this button, which is called the row action button, and you'll see different things that you can do, one of which is mark this completed. Now, when I click complete, this activity is going to disappear because it's no longer on my to-do list. And where does it go? It goes to my completed activities list. And there it is. Now, here's another thing to notice. This was supposed to be started November of 2018, but it didn't get completed until March 5th of 2019. So your completed date is always going to be the current system date of your computer, and you cannot change this. So you need to make sure you complete your activities as much as possible on the day that you do them, and caution your team to do that. That's something I always bring up in training, because you can't change this. So maybe I did do this on the 20th, but I never marked completed, but in a report, it looks like I didn't do it till today. So just a word of caution. But these different filters up here let you see your activities. So you could look for just phone calls that you've made, and it'll sort by or group by the activity type. Now here it's showing you ones that are in process and scheduled. Here's one was scheduled for the 14th of February, but I didn't do it, or I didn't mark it completed, whatever it happens to be. So anything in red is an in-process activity. Anything in green is one that has been completed. So that's the color coding that we have. And then you can look at tomorrow's activities, if you have anything scheduled for specifically tomorrow, or you can look at future activities, which would look from tomorrow on out. So here's some that are scheduled into 2020, so 2019 and 2020. So you want to learn to use these filters that help you see your activities and know what you've done. And then you can open any activity. Now here's another reason to use the file folder icon. This will open the account, this will open the contact, this will open the activity. So if I always just aim for this file folder icon, I will get the right thing. And all of the modules have these different filters at the top. So this is one thing you always want to pay attention to, so that you are seeing the right records in the database that you wish to see. Calendar works along with activities in that when you create an activity, you may save it to your calendar in Claritysoft, and then it will show up on your Claritysoft calendar. Then you may synchronize your Claritysoft calendar with your Outlook calendar. And now we just have the capability to synchronize with your Google Calendar if you're working with Google Calendar. Then Dashboards module. This one allows you to create and save charts or dashboards. So you can have different charts that you create, and then you can view them here. You can also view these charts on the home page. And this one allows you to set up charts to view and what these little boxes up here are called key indicators. So to set that up, and this is all individual controlled, so each user can set up different charts to view and different key indicators. you click on this little gear shape button here on the left side of the screen and go to key indicators, and then you're going to get a list. So you may pull up any 4. So you have a maximum of 4 that you can display up here. So once you've set your 4, you can close the panel, and then you can do the same thing with charts. So you go to chart indicators, and then you may have up to 4. Now, my list of chart indicators is much longer than what you have. You'll probably have, I think it's about 10, 8 or 10. But the reason my list is so long is I have created a number of dashboards using the dashboard module, and when I save them, they end up in this list. So that's what makes it nice from the standpoint that you can create dashboards in the dashboards module, and when you save them, they are then available to view here on your home screen or in the dashboards module. Here you may view 4. In the dashboards module, you may view up to 8 at any point in time. So you get the same set of dashboards by clicking on this vertical ellipsis button and going to settings. There's the same list. You choose up to 8 different ones that you would like to view. Then email manager, if you have purchased the marketing module, then you will see this screen. If you have not, then you will simply see this email tracking, and then you will see all of the emails that have been sent out. So again, filters at the top. This week, I'll say this year. So there are some that were sent out last week. So you have the different filters so you can see what emails were sent from Claritysoft, to whom they were sent, and whether they were completed or not. And then it pings back if the person has read it. Okay, so it's a way to check that you've sent an email. For example, if you send an email to somebody and you contact them, say, I didn't receive it. And you say, well, it was completed, but they didn't read it. So then it's, you know, kind of on their side, where did it go? Here, it was sent and the person clicked on it once on the 26th. So you can even tell them when they clicked on it if they have a question on that, okay? So that will be there, and then you can choose what user to view. So you could see just your own emails, or you can see everybody's. So that's, again, filters. Then we have reports. We have both Excel reports and normal reports. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. The regular reports, there's a lot of built-in ones, and they're already there, and you can just click on the report and run it, and then it can be downloaded to Excel. And then you are able to create new ones and set up your own reports in your own columns. So let's go back. The only module we didn't talk about was leads. And the leads module is where you can put in new leads that you get from whatever source that you get them. Some people use this module, some people don't. One of the advantages to using it is that if you have a web form on your website, you could have people fill in information on your website, and then that can integrate and bring that lead into Claritysoft. So there's a capability of connecting your website to Claritysoft leads and have those leads come in here. The other advantage is that in your lead record, any custom fields that you create in here, for example, I have this market segment one. If I create the same custom field in my account record, my contact record, and or my opportunity record, when I convert this lead, that data will flow across and auto-populate those fields. So it's a way to get data to start in the leads module and then get throughout the rest of the database. So that's another advantage. Okay, so that's a quick overview of modules. Now, back to these filters and searching. All the modules, if you notice when we were going from module to module, had pretty much the same buttons up here and places to fill in. This is a quick search box When you have multiple records in your database, I only have 300, but if you have 3,000 or 30,000, you need to be able to search and pull up records by the account name so you can quickly find it rather than having to scroll looking for it. So this search box allows you to type in part of a name. You don't have to type the whole thing. So if I type in just ACC, I'm going to get all of the companies whose names have ACC in the company name. Now notice, most of these have the ACC at the beginning, but also notice right here, it's towards the end. It's in the text, and the same thing here. So the combination of letters that you type does not have to be at the beginning of the company name. It can be anywhere in it. For example, I'm going to clear it with this by clicking this X. If I type ERIC, I get America, an American. So this is a quick way to find a company. Maybe you don't exactly remember the spelling, so you can type what you remember and see what you find. And, you know, often you might get 50 of them, and then you say, oh, well, okay, this is really what I was looking for, and then you can, you know, change your spelling a little bit. So if I did this, I should get the same ones, but if I added an N here, notice now I'm down to American. So this is a way to quickly search your database and pull up a company. Then you can click here and go do what you're going to do with that company. The other thing that you are able to type in here is the phone number or part of the phone number. So if I wanted to find everybody in the 614 area code, I can type 614 and a hyphen because my numbers are all formatted the same way, and then notice I get everything with 614 area code. And this is, I know a lot of times when people are importing data, phone numbers are not formatted consistently a lot of times. Sometimes you use parentheses, sometimes you use hyphens, sometimes you use dots, and a lot of people now are not putting anything in. So this kind of begs to format your numbers consistently in the database, or if you're just starting and you are importing data, to fix them before you put them in, because then you can search parts of a number. Because I could do this and I get everything with the 987 exchange. So that's there. So either part of the company name or part of the phone number is usable in that quick search box. Click the X to clear and get back to your whole list. And then that brings me down to the bottom of the page. Is down at the bottom, it will always tell you how many records you are currently viewing. I have 310 records in my database. If I come up here and I do the ACC again, I now am viewing 8 of those 310 records. So when you do any kind of a filter, you want to glance down here and just see, well, how many records did I get? Does that make sense? So just get in the habit of that. And then the results per page, that is showing you, well, how many rows am I seeing per page? And you can change it to 50 or 100. If you are working with a larger database, going to 100 is probably nice, because then you can scroll a little bit. It doesn't make the rows smaller. It just lets you scroll up and down. And then you can move from page to page here. I don't think you're going to do this terribly often, because most of the time you are going to click in this search and look for something specific. Then advanced search. And in the advanced search, we have 4 different ways to search: a form filter, a standard filter, a time-based filter, and a product filter if you use the products and services in the database. The form filter is just like a record form, and you can type in here. So let's say I wanted to find everybody who's a prospect. So I can just select that and click search. So I get 48 people out of my 310. Now, here's my thing. I'm looking at these people, and I'm going to trust that the computer indeed pulled up prospects, but sort of being a bit non-trusting of myself, perhaps, and even of the computer, I would like to see that status field in the columns here. So I'm going to come over here to this vertical ellipsis button on the far right and click on it, and then choose column settings. Then I am able to pull any fields that I want to see from the left side over to the right. And so I can scroll down, and I want to see product interest, and I want to see sector, and I can put these anywhere that I want. And here's my status. So maybe I want to shove that one up there, and here's a type. And maybe I don't really care about website, so I'm going to drag it to the left. So I can put anything over here on the right that I wish to see in my columns. Now, here's another thing. At the bottom, you get to choose, well, how do I want my columns to sort? What is the default sort that I want? By default, it's sorting by account. You could change it to any of these other fields if you wanted it to sort by state or product interest or the type, status, whatever. I'm going to leave mine in account, and then here, the results per page, we just changed this to 100 down here, but the default is 20. So the next time I log out and log back in, it's going to revert to 20, and I'd have to change it again. So if you permanently want 100 records to show, then change it in this dialog box. When I click apply, now I have much more interesting data to look at. I can see the city, the state, if there's a product interest, which there doesn't seem to be anything filled in, so that shows me I need to do some work. And I can see that, yes, indeed, all of my prospects, or all of my records, are indeed prospects. This is individual, so what you set up does not affect anybody else, and you can change this at any time, but Claritysoft will save this so that the next time you come in, your columns will be set up the way you want them. So if I then wanted to do another search, I'm going to clear this advanced search by clicking the little X. And then I'm going to go back to the Spyglass, advanced search. And this time, I want to see all the customers that are manufacturing. So I can make two choices here. Both of these need to be true. So now I see customers, and I see the sector is manufacturing, and I have 18 records. Now, one other nice, really great thing. Advanced Search View, when you use it, you see these three buttons. One is to edit the filter. One is to save the filter or the view. So if I knew I wanted to do this search for customers in manufacturing sector fairly often, I can elect to save it. And then I could say manufacturing customers. So now it's in this list here. So when I click here, I have a list of all these different views or filters that I have saved. And I can go back to all accounts, which will take me back to my 310. I can go to manufacturing customers. There they are. 2 clicks. Click on the list and then the select. Here's manufacturing prospects. So notice it chooses them and it's all the manufacturing prospects. So you are able to create and save as many of these views or filters that you want. And then if you add a new record where the status is, let's say, prospect and the sector is manufacturing, the next time you run this view, then your new record will show up there because it's a filter. So this is always going to be updated. So you may add these at any point in time. And again, when you add them, they belong to you. However, you can go to the Spyglass button, go to Views, and you have a list of all your different views. So I have this manufacturing customers one. Notice I can rename it. And then the important thing is I can share it. So I could share it with any number of people that I want to share it with, and then that person will have that view in their drop-down list. So that's a pretty nice thing to be able to do. So if I wanted to share this with Kelly and with Phillips, then they, when they log in, will see that view already created. This is a refresh button. This will clear filters except for that advanced filter if you've created it and clear it out. And then over here is a list actions button. This allows you to do different things with a list or selected group of records. So for example, this product interest field is kind of empty. So if I know that this company, this company, this company, and this company all have the same product interest, I can select them, go to List Actions, Group Edit, all records marked as checked, brings up the filter, and then I would go to Product Interest Field, which is going to be at the bottom because it is a custom field. And then I pick that they're interested in this and this. Apply, and look at there, it's filled in. I love the group edit. So this is a quick way to update records where you can select multiple records, use list actions, and then update the same field with the same value for those selected records. So explore list actions. There are other things here. You can select records and export to Excel, or you can select records and view the contacts for those records. For example, I go to advanced search and I'm going to say that the sector is manufacturing. I get 37 records. I'm going to select all of them, go to list actions, view contacts, and I can apply here for the records marked as checked. Claritysoft jumps me to contacts and shows me all the contact people for the 37 accounts that I just selected, and I get 52 records here, and maybe what I want to do is I want to email all of them. So I select them, I go to list actions, I can choose email contacts. Or if you have the marketing module, you can do a marketing. And then it will open up an email, and then you can type your email or open a template you've created and send it off. So that's there. So those are the kinds of navigation things that you can do, is you can filter at one level and then select those records and view another level. And you'll notice that under list actions for accounts, you can view contacts, or you can view all the activities you've done for one or more accounts. Again, without having to go to activities and filter. So explore the list actions menu, just try things. And all of the modules have a list actions button. They will do different things, but just go and explore those. Now, process leads. I'm going to look up a company in here. I already have a lead in here. And what you do with a lead is you work with a lead and you add activities to the lead, So you can add your activities. So if I want to add an activity here real quick, I can say I called Eric. You would put better things in. I'm going to put sloppy garbage notes, save it. Okay. So I have an activity that I have completed. An open activity is one you schedule. So I can either click on the tab, click plus, or click new activity up here. Get you to the same place. So follow, call. Again, usually the subject line is why are you making this call? And then you put it in, and let's say I want to make another call to Eric on Friday. I want to show it on my calendar, and I can get a reminder, which I'm not going to do because I'll get a reminder and not know why. I put notes in about what I want to talk about, and I save it. So I have updated with some activities. Now, maybe in talking with Eric, he's very excited about working with me, so I can change his status here to, first of all, working lead. Then we have a stage field. This is all customizable, so yours may be different. And maybe in 1 or 2 phone calls, I've qualified him. He's ready to go. And then, I can say this is a perfect match. So I can enter all my information, make sure that I have data filled in, and I'm going to do a save. And the reason I'm doing a save is it saves my record, but it leaves it open for me. If I did a save and close, then it would go back out to the list and I'd have to re-look up the record again. Here I'm in it. Now I want to convert it. I'm going to click on this vertical ellipsis button. Says convert lead. Now it says possible match Slate Rock and Gravel Company, which actually is the same name. So it says, well, this account already exists. Do you want to just add Eric really as another contact? So I can do that. If there's nothing here, then you would just click convert. But I'm going to say this is the same company. So it's going to put it in, has the person assigned to. You can assign it to any other user at this point, and then you can create an opportunity. So when I click apply, Claritysoft is automatically going to change Slate, Rock, and Gravel to converted. So I don't see Eric here anymore because up here it says new. If I switch this filter to converted, there he is. So it automatically changes the status. Now you're not going to come back here and work with Eric anymore. He's in here, but he's converted now. So then I go to accounts and I can look up Slate. And when I go here, if I want to just quickly look at what's connected to the account, I can click this little circle button, which is called the expand button. And there's Eric. He's been added as a contact for Slate, Rock, and Gravel. Diana is a person I've already worked with there, okay? And then you'll see there's the call that I've scheduled for Friday, so it comes across. There's the call that I made just now. And here's the opportunity that just was created. All right, so if I click on this now, I will open the opportunity record, or I could go to the opportunities module. So now I have my opportunity and I can begin to fill it in. What stage am I at? The opportunity here, Claritysoft generates a number automatically. You can change it. Like if you wanted to name the opportunity and call it, new building project, whatever makes sense to you. You can change the name or you can keep the number, whatever works. And then the amount field, when you're first working the opportunity, you're just sort of guessing, perhaps, that it's worth so much money. And then you can just type the number in, and you can type it in, and then you set a close date when you anticipate closing this opportunity. So I'll just say we're hoping to close it by the end of next month. And then this is just a text field, and it will always give you your entered date and creation date usually are the same, and the last edit date will update itself whenever you come in here and make a change to the record. So I can save it. Anytime you click save, it leaves the record open for you, okay? But then you'll see the opportunity name is up here, and you have all your different tabs. So in opportunities, you are able to add activities here. You have, if you're sending email campaigns to an opportunity contact, it will be there. Attachments, sales stage history will tell you how long you've been at each sales stage. So when you change the sales stage and then you click save, it will update this. And then here's what I talked about before. I can see my account record information and I can see my contact record information here. So if I need to call Eric, there's his phone number. Now if I need to email Eric, I just come up here and click and it opens an email form and then you can send it. So this will then save to Claritysoft, but it goes out through your Outlook or your Gmail depending on how your email settings are set up. So that's what you can do there. So very easy to do, create your new activities, update things. You can add products and services. Again, if you have added products and services to the database, some people do, some people don't, then I can pick what products they're interested in and then apply, and it drops all of your items in, and then you can set how many they're purchasing, and it will calculate. And then when you go back to the details where I typed in the 50,000 before, notice it's now changed it to 65,677. So it will then pay attention to what's in the products and services tab. Now I'm going to save this. This is the most rapid sale ever. I'm going to change it to send a quote, save it, and then I can click on the vertical ellipsis button and say convert to quotation. Notice I can convert to quote. I can convert to sale. So the next flow is to go to the quotation module, and then I can do a save and close here, and then I can go to quotations, and I will see my new quote there. So here it is. And I can open the record, make sure everything is filled in properly here. Your products and services come across from the opportunity record. You can set your dates here, terms, and then save it. Then you can go to a quotation template. You can create your own custom template in here. Preview it. So you would create your own template with your own logo, you know, whatever you want, but you can see it pulls the data in from the quote record. And then after you've previewed it, close that window, and then you can email it to the person. So it brings up an email. It's got hello, first name, whatever. You can type whatever else you want in here and then send it. The quote is attached as a PDF, and then I can send it. And it goes to the customer, and then I can monitor my quote as to whether it's active, accepted, rejected, or lost. And then it will be in my quote list. Once it's accepted, let's just say they responded really fast, I can save it, and then I can take the quote, if you're using the sales module, and convert it to a sale. So it's the same process, you just convert it, and it will then take your quote and create a sale record from it. Now, not everybody uses all these modules, because a lot of times by the time you get to a sale, it goes to your accounting system. Or quotes might be very complex with the type of business you have, and you have different quoting software that you use because of the complexity. So again, Claritysoft is super flexible. You use the modules that you need or want to use, and don't use the modules that you don't need to use. Sometimes you start out using some of them and then you add others later. Hopefully we've covered enough information to get you started. Just so you all know, out here on the support portal, you click on the question mark support portal, video tutorials. If you go there, then you will click on this videos tab, and this is a list of all of our recordings from all of our webinars plus other short videos. You'll see the length of them here, starting with the most recent. Now, for some of you, if you are the admin user in your Claritysoft database and you're just getting started, you will want to look for Guide for System Administrators. This will go into teaching you how to go into the settings and customize your database. So that will be one there, and there's another one further back for custom fields, adding custom fields. So search for those because those will help you. And then just use those as a resource, and then your help system is here where you can search for answers, or you can come over here and click to expand topics and then search this way over here. So lots of help there. If you're past implementation and you have questions, then you can go to our tech support team and they will be happy to help you. This is their phone number here, 888-838-7487, extension 2, or support@claritysoft.com. With that, I will let you go. Hopefully we covered everything that you needed to cover, and you go and have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week.